Alright, YouTube, welcome to the first ever G-Rax football picks and predictions show. Real excited to kick this off this season. I am Rob G-Rax Anderson, and my special guest for this first ever show is the All-Father, Scott Odin Anderson.
Good to be here.
It's good to be here myself. Good to have you here. Good to get this show going, and very good to get back to football.
Finally, football. Real football. Not courtroom football. Real football.
Although that courtroom football was
Saga
riveting.
nonsense.
Had a
Biggest
lot of
witch
fun
hunt in
with that.
football history.
In case you haven't noticed yet, we are die-hard New England fans here. But don't let that worry you. We will not be in any way, shape, or form biased.
That you know of.
And having said that, let's get right into it. First game of the season, Steelers at New England. This game's gonna be nuts. I cannot wait for this one. The Gillette Stadium's gonna be mental. I can't state that
Crazy.
enough.
Crazy.
It's gonna be the craziest atmosphere ever at Gillette, and
Our good friend Roger Goodell will not be there. Gutless.
That's
Leave
mature.
your balls at home, Roger. We don't need you here. Even though you are the commissioner and you should be there, it is the kickoff, but you stay home where your wife can protect you. Pussy.
It's probably for the best for him. I can't imagine how
He's a
those
pussy.
fans would treat him there.
Pussy.
But
Gutless.
all that fun stuff aside, Steelers at Pats, like I said, and I'm gonna go with the Pats, of course. I think the Steelers will be a pretty good team this year. Big Ben's proven. Antonio Brown's an animal. He's a great weapon. But they do not have Le'Veon Bell starting due to a suspension, so
He loves his weed.
we all do.
I don't.
Well, you're missing out. What can we say?
I'll take your word for it.
So Le'Veon's gonna be home getting stoned, and without him, they don't have much a shot at the Pats. They obviously have a shot, but I don't think it's gonna be that close. Pats do start slow every season, and they tend to play to the level of their opponent, but it's just going to be too mental, this kickoff. I don't think the Steelers will have any chance.
Oh, I definitely think they have a chance. Whenever you have Ben Roethlisberger, he makes plays with his arm, he makes plays with his feet. He's impossible to take down. We've seen it. Year in, year out, we've seen it. And you're right about the Pats. They start slow. They do play down to the level of their opponent. But in this case, you really can't get away with much. They'll burn you. They will burn you. We've seen it before. I like the Pats in this game, but I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think the defenses aren't going to show up. First of all, the Patriots, we don't even know who's in the secondary. We have a rookie that made one great play in the Super Bowl, and we're counting on him to take Revis's place. I don't know. That remains to be seen. I hope so. I doubt it. High-scoring game. I like the Pats in the end.
So 2 for the Pats. Moving on to an awesome divisional rivalry right off the bat, week 1.
Black and blue division.
God, that's going to be a hell of a game. And I just don't see the Bears having what it takes yet. Jay Cutler is certainly no Rodgers, but the Packers without Jordy Nelson, that's going to hurt them a little bit.
That hurts.
He's
That's a
their
blow.
number one weapon, undeniably. But I think Cobb's going to get big production in his place, and I think the Packers still take this one pretty easily.
Yeah, I would have to agree. And it all depends on what Jay Cutler shows up. Is it the motivated, I like playing football Jay Cutler? Or is it, I'm going to go sit on the sideline, put my coat on because I'm cold, don't talk to me, don't look at me, don't interview me, don't do shit. So I think if things don't go well at the beginning, Cutler, as usual, folds like a house of cards. Pack is rolled.
So that's 2 for the Pack. Moving on to Chiefs at Texans, another pretty awesome matchup.
I hope that's on TV.
This I don't know who to watch. They're both at 1 o'clock, which sucks. But I'm looking forward to seeing what this Texans D can do this year. Clowney coming back healthy. Added my boy Big Vince. I miss you, Vince. But I hope you do well in Texas. I just don't think you guys are going to do well enough at the start of this season against the Chiefs. Jamal Charles, he's going to be a little too much for this unproven D. I think the Chiefs take a close one.
It's a tough game. It really is. I like the Texans at home. I love their defense. I mean, you get a guy like J.J. Watt on your team. He's a difference maker. He can win games for you single-handedly. And I love Vince too. But you got to remember, Vince is only a limited amount of downs player now. He's great, don't get me wrong, but as we saw the last year with the Patriots, he was a situational player. He's great, but don't count on him for being in there for all three downs. It's not gonna happen. He'll be in there on first and second down. Anytime it's a passing situation, he won't be in there. But J.J. Watt is. And he's a monster. As we saw in Hard Knocks, he just made everybody look like a fool that tried to stop him. I like the Texans at home. I love the coaching staff. I love Mike Vrabel. Billy O'Brien. I mean, he was great. We really miss him. I like to call the Texans the Patriots South. I like the Texans at home, close game.
So that's one for the Chiefs, one for the Texans. And speaking of Hard Knocks, if you haven't watched that, I suggest you get on it now. It's
must-see TV.
One of the best sports shows you're ever going to see.
You want to see what's going on in an NFL locker room and behind the scenes? It's the best.
So moving on, Browns at Jets. Can't say I'm too excited for this matchup other than to see what the Jets are made of this year, which I don't think is going to be a whole hell of a lot. They basically sold the house to get Revis. That's all they got now. Geno Smith is out.
Got a great secondary. You got Cromartie, too.
Yeah, well...
It's a good secondary, unproven the rest of it. Quarterback especially. You're dusting off Ryan Fitzpatrick and rolling him out here. So, who knows?
The guy that's changed more teams than anyone in recent memory. Let's see if he's still got some in the tank.
He will early in the season. These guys, you know, it's like when you first get out there, you're pumped, you're amped. You know, you're going to be good for the first couple of games, but then, you know, things start to break down. We'll see.
In that one, it's a really tough choice, but I'm going to give the nod to the Browns in a real close one.
You're delirious.
The Jets are the Jets.
You're delirious. Hey, maybe Johnny Football will play.
No, that's the one plus to the Browns.
Plus.
I say let him bench him forever.
Oh, I was going to say,
am
you
no
bring him up for a
man's
keg
elf.
party.
Yeah, I would have cut him by now, but
Clown.
I still think the Browns can take the Jets.
I don't know. Getting back to Knucklehead there. I mean, college is one thing. How many times, I mean, look at Tim Tebow. No one's tried harder to be a pro quarterback than Tim Tebow. And we got Johnny Knucklehead, who spent the whole last year partying. Like, hey, look at me, I'm a millionaire. He's a dick. I like the Jets at home because I don't think Cleveland can get out of their own way. I really don't. I like the Jets. Great D. Questions at quarterback. Great D. You're not going to throw on them. You're not going to throw long on the Jets. On the Jets. You're not going to do it. So then they got a great defensive line. I like the Jets easy over the Browns.
Easy. Despite what Jets fans, Jets haters, whatever you want to say, I think they were better under Rex. Rex is a hell of a defensive mind.
What are you basing that on? You haven't played a game yet.
I'm not basing it yet. I just think losing Rex is not a plus.
You had to let Rex
He's a better coach than they're gonna realize.
Well, everyone loves Rex. Everyone. Great defensive football coach.
Yeah.
Rex's problem, and it's always been his problem since he's been in the pros, is he hasn't had an elite quarterback. You give that guy a good, real good quarterback, they're in the playoffs.
I think he made the playoffs AFC Championship game with Sanchez, and that
who has
speaks
still
volumes.
been better than what they've had as of late.
All right, but we got to move on. Colts.
Jets easy.
Jets lose, but
You're delirious.
Colts at Bills. This one.
Someone call a doctor.
This is an awesome game. Colts at Bills. This is going to be a competitive game, and I am very excited to see what the aforementioned Rex Ryan is capable of with what looks like a pretty sweet Bills lineup. I think he's going to have that defense rolling. I think they're going to look awesome, but I don't think they've had enough time to become a cohesive unit and take on the Colts, who have been building and building.
And losing.
To the Pats. You know, they play everyone but the Pats well.
Hey, AFC finalist.
Which is why I will give the Colts the nod against the Bills. Maybe they can put up another banner when they beat them.
Long shot. I like the Bills at home. I think Rex will game plan for Andrew Luck. There's nobody better at game planning for a great quarterback than Rex Ryan. It's a long shot. I understand they're not favored in this game, and if I had to bet the house on it, I might think differently. But opening day, Buffalo, renewed emphasis in Buffalo. I think it's great. I like Rex. I like the Bills. Close game. Bills take it.
So that's one for the Colts, one for the Bills. Moving on to Dolphins at Redskins. This is going to be a fun game just to see what the Dolphins are made of this year. They look awesome. And Ndamukong Suh, as much as I hate him, he's a phenomenal player. I don't look forward to having him in the AFC East. I think the Dolphins have the potential to be a powerhouse, while the Skins, on the other hand, are collapsing even further. RG3 is still made of glass. He's riding the bench again. Big controversies. Jay Gruden, I don't think he's much of a coach. I think Dolphins crushed the Skins.
I agree. I think the Dolphins will win easily. I think RG3's days in Washington are numbered. And it's not necessarily his play. It's his attitude. It's his mouth. It's his little snippets about how, I'm not getting a fair shake or this or that. He's the coach killer. Shanahan, you're not going to find a much better coach, and RG3 ran him out of town. It's a bunch of shit. It's crap. It's bullshit. RG3, his best days are behind him, and it's a shame because he's a great talent. But he's done. His confidence is shot. No one wants to coach him. So I like the Dolphins easy at Washington.
So that's two for the Finns. Moving on, Panthers at Jags. This game, not much to it. I don't look forward to much here. Cam Newton, let's see if he can improve any further. He's a good run threat. His passing game's not bad. They got Kuechly on D, but that's about all they got going for him.
Not to be confused with Kuechly.
Who's Kuechly?
I heard that name somewhere before.
The Jags are still the Jags. That's all you can say about them. I think the Panthers take this one pretty easily.
I was thinking about this game. I like Carolina easy over the Jags, but here's my question about the Jags. Is every year they get a high draft pick. So, wouldn't you think you would start to get, better? You get a bunch of high draft picks every year because you suck so bad. You would think the team would have to improve. But as I'm sitting here, I can't tell you any Jag that I can even remember. It's too bad because their general manager must have his head so far up his ass he has no idea what day it is, what time zone he's in. Now, you're wrong about Cam Newton. He's a punk. I don't like playing him. He's one of those mouthy, shit talk, not my type of guy. But he's an immense talent. He's fast. He's getting better in the pocket. Make a long story short, I like Carolina easy over the Jags.
So that's 2 for Carolina. Moving on to Seahawks at Rams. This one's a little easier to pick. Our familiar Seahawks. They are obviously going to crush the Rams. And I look forward to this one just to see the Seahawks this year. See what they're going to be like. Chancellor's still holding out his contract. I hate that shit. It really irks me as a fan. Seems careless, like he doesn't care about the team, but it is a business, and even without him, Hawks are going to crush the Rams.
You know, it's the fans who take this more personal than the team, or the teammates, or even the coaching staff. I mean, they understand contracts. It's a business. These guys have to... See, that's the trouble with the NFL. You have a very short shelf life. You got to make your money when you can. I understand what he's trying to do. As a fan, you hate it.
Yeah.
Because we're never going to see that kind of money. I mean, but, you know, we're in a different situation. So, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand. I still think Seattle's got enough talent to walk all over the Rams.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Seahawks by at least 10, if not more.
Pretty safe bet. That's 2 for the Hawks. Moving on, we got Saints at Cardinals. This
Good
game, this is
Tough
gonna
one.
be a game. This one is one to watch, and there's gonna be a lot of fun elements to it. Cardinals were looking awesome last year. They went undefeated longer than any team until they started the injury plague, and by the time the playoffs rolled around, they were down to their 3rd string quarterback.
It's a damn shame, too, because that defense deserved better.
I was looking forward to seeing what they were made of in the playoffs, and we never got it. I hope it happens this year. I want to see what this team can do. And Saints are still the Saints, pretty much, as long as
they're not the Saints.
No
that
Jimmy Graham.
Right, Jimmy
is
Graham,
really gonna
that's
hurt.
going to hurt. That's something we probably should have mentioned with the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Is they now have another threat. I mean,
Big
it's
threat.
not the D that they're famous for, but now you got a guy like Jimmy Graham who's a fantastic, pass catcher. But getting back to the Saints, I mean, that's a huge
Wicked.
loss.
But
Who do you like in this one?
I don't know if Breeze can overcome the loss of Graham. I don't know if they have the personnel to take a healthy Cardinals. It's going to be real close. It's going to be real interesting, but I'm going to give the nod to the Cardinals in a close one.
Yeah, Cardinals at home, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who's behind center in this game. I have no idea who their starting quarterback is. But that defense, if it's healthy and it's anything like it was last year, it should be enough at home to beat the Saints. Close game. I like the Cardinals.
That's 2 for the Cards. Moving on, Lions at Chargers. This ought to be a decent little matchup. Matty Stafford versus Phil Rivers. These are two pretty close teams, I'd say. Lions D obviously lost Sue. That's going to be a tremendous blow. I think they can overcome it, but not this early in the season. I'm going to give the nod to the Chargers in another close one.
Yeah, me too. I like Phil Rivers. It's almost like San Diego, last couple of years anyway, they start terribly slow and then pick it up late in the season and just barely not make the playoffs. It's like if they could be more consistent, they'd be in better shape. In this particular game, opening day, everybody's healthy. Phil Rivers is healthy. I like the Chargers at home. Close game. Detroit's still going to have a decent D, even without Sue. But his presence will most definitely be missed. But week 1, I'll take the Chargers at home. Close game.
It's 2 for the Chargers. Moving on to a very fun matchup because these are two, let's face it, pretty shit teams the past few years. But now
Revitalized that quarterback.
Marcus Mariota starting against Jameis Winston.
Jameis, give me some crab legs, Winston.
Feasting on the crabs for
Crabs
this one.
for everybody.
And
I gotta pay for them?
no,
I didn't know I had to pay
you don't
for 'em.
pay for crab legs.
Since when do you pay
Everyone
for
knows
crab
that.
legs? Probably say give that away.
I gotta think here that Tennessee's better equipped now with Mariota. Bucks, Jameis, he's good. I don't know. I have a bias against him. I obviously
He'll do something stupid and lose the game.
I don't like him that much.
He'll try something he shouldn't have, and he's gonna. I'll go on the record right now to say Jameis Winston does something stupid and blows the game.
So, I'm going with Tennessee. You're going with Tennessee. That's 2 for them.
But it's gonna be all Winston's fault.
It'll be a fun matchup. I can't wait to see what both these kids can do.
Winston thinks he's NFL ready. We'll find out. Now, maturity-wise, you got to go with Mariota. I just think he's more level-headed. He can be coached, I think, more than Jameis Winston
He sure can.
I think in the NFL, you can't just run and gun. Johnny Knucklehead tried it. It didn't work.
No.
This is not college. You got to go with the more mature quarterback. I like Tennessee.
2 for Tennessee. Moving on to Bengals at Raiders. This is a pretty easy one. Raiders are still the Raiders.
They still playing a baseball field?
How doesn't that piss you off? Can't they afford turf or something? I hate the baseball fields on the field. It looks so dumb.
It makes it hard to watch the game. It really does.
It's obnoxious. So
but you got to give those Raiders fans credit. They show up in full outfits
the Raider fans are the one thing keeping that franchise alive.
And they deserve better because that is a loyal fan base. You know, ever since Gruden left, nothing's happened. I won't bring up the Tuck rule. We all have to live through that.
Well,
easier for us.
It was a rule at the time. It wasn't. It was. Forget
it's a
it.
rule no one ever heard of. It was a fumble today, and it was a fumble then. But whatever, we'll take it.
For these Raiders, just win, baby, but not today. I think the Bengals are taking this one pretty easily.
I like the Bengals against the Raiders. I would love to see the Raiders become relevant again. I really would, because I grew up watching the Raiders. They were a team to be reckoned with back when I was younger. I'm not going to date myself and tell you when, but I'd love to see them get back in the game. It would be fun. It'd be great for the area of Oakland and the whole Bay Area. It'd be fantastic.
Meanwhile, Bengals are back in the game. Andy Dalton's led them to pretty good success.
I'm sick of listening to how every single time I go, led by Andy Dalton. What the?
He's not.
What has he done?
He's done pretty good these past couple years. They're progressing.
I must have missed those games. Yeah, they're in the playoffs?
Not quite, but they come close.
Andy Dalton.
They're another Charger-like team.
You
just
can't have a ginger quarterback. You just can't.
Okay.
Too many freckles.
That might be a deterrent. I guess we'll find out. But
Redheads.
That's 2 for the Bengals.
A redheaded quarterback.
Moving on. Ravens at Broncos. We all know this one's going to be awesome.
That's a great Week 1 matchup. This is the kind of game you'd wish it was mid-season.
Yeah, this one, it's such a treat early on. Rematch of the AFC Championship 2 years ago. And it's
the worst secondary blunder of all time.
I'll never forget that.
Fourth and 6 miles, just throws it up.
Nowadays, oh God, this is a real tough one. Peyton looked so shaky at the end of last season.
He was hurt.
But it was a hidden injury. I'm going to assume he's over it now. He's back to being Peyton. And I'm going to give it to the Broncos in a close game. This could go either way.
Peyton's been fantastic for as long as I can remember, but he was hurt last year, and you could just see it. I mean, when they played Indianapolis, it was like, who is this guy? I have no idea who I'm watching. I think, though, the Ravens, if anyone is motivated, it's the Ravens. I mean, Harbaugh might have a heart attack and pull another hissy fit like he did against, was it Jay Gruden the other night in the preseason game? He started yelling at him and acting like a big girl. The Ravens are mad. They're still mad about the formations Belichick threw at them,
which are now removed.
Yeah. Another rule that they have to make because no one else thought of it, even though it was perfectly legal. Let's not get off on that.
That play was ran several times by different teams at
College
different levels.
And the pros. The problem with it wasn't the formation that Harbaugh had a problem with. It was the fact that they did it during a hurry-up offense and he had no time to adjust.
Totally legal.
Right. Now, the problem is, no, he had never seen it before. They didn't know how to react in time. That's all it was. It was a hurry-up thing, and they had no time. But whatever. I think the Ravens are going to go into Denver, and I think they're going to win. Because the Ravens fear no one. They really don't. You're not going to intimidate them.
They are dangerous when they come into Gillette. I know that much.
Last year, that was the one team I did not want to see in the playoffs. If I remember correctly, you told me not to worry, we're going to kill them. Yeah, sure we are.
Hey, what's done is done.
Week one, I'm going to take the Ravens because I think they're still angry, and they're gonna win in a close game at Denver.
That's one for the Ravens, one for Denver, in what's going to be a hell of a game. Moving on to another awesome divisional matchup in Week 1. This has been a hell of a Week 1. I can't wait to see all these.
Why?
Giants and Cowboys.
When's the last time the Giants have been relevant? Really?
They're not that great these days, but it's always
Cowboys
a good
are gonna
game.
kill them.
I do think the Cowboys will kill them here, but it's still going to be a fun game.
It's a fun divisional game. But the Giants aren't what they used to be.
They certainly aren't. Not when they got lucky against my Pats twice.
There was a whole different cast of characters than they have now. The only thing that's really the same is the coach and the quarterback.
Just like New England.
Let's see how many picks Eli throws this year. See if he sets a record.
So that's 2 for the Cowboys. Moving on, Eagles at Falcons at the first of a Monday night doubleheader. This is tough. It's a pretty revamped Eagles team. Sam Bradford starting. They lost Shady McCoy there. So it's going to be a pretty new offense. Whereas the Falcons...
And it's going to be a widespread, crazy college offense.
Chip Kelly, you never know. Alright, get out of here, Windows. So, anyways, I still think the Eagles have what it takes to settle Matt Ryan and them Falcons down. I give it to the Eagles in what'll likely be a close one, but who knows, this one could go either way.
I like the Eagles, and I like what Chip Kelly tries to do with that offense. When it's working and everyone's on the same page, it's almost impossible to defend. And I love Matty Ryan. He was a great college quarterback for BC. And I've always followed him. I like him. He's a great guy. They had their chance a few years ago. They were close. They were almost a contender for the Super Bowl.
Yep.
It's a damn shame. I mean, what happened? That's a whole different show, a whole different analysis. I like the Eagles to go in there and throw things at them they've never seen before. I like the Eagles by, I don't know, more than a touchdown.
So Eagles in a pretty lopsided one. That's 2 for the Eagles. And moving on to the final real late night game. I love the late night games. Even if it is Vikings at Niners, up all night. The old man's going to be in bed. He'll miss it, but I'll tell him all about it.
Work for a living.
I'll tell him how Teddy Bridgewater started, Adrian Peterson came back, but they weren't enough to stop Kaepernick.
Oh, yeah, because he's looked so dynamic lately.
Those awesome Niners.
Oh, yeah, they're awesome.
No, they actually, both these teams... Vikings have improved. I'd say Teddy Bridgewater with
He's getting
Adrian
there.
back.
He's getting there. He's not there yet.
But I
But-
still think the Niners will edge them a little bit. I
Wait a
think
minute,
the
wait a minute.
Niners take a close
Oh,
one.
all right. Now, all right. I was going to check you for a fever again. Niners at home. All they really have to do is key on Adrian Peterson. That's it. That's all. I mean, I really don't see much of a threat. I mean, Teddy got better last year throwing the ball, but not enough. I mean, it's not going to be enough. So if you can key and defend and contain Adrian Peterson, you should win relatively easily. So I like the Niners at home. 7+.
So, pretty good one there. So
Too bad I won't be awake to see it.
I'll let you know
Tell me
how
all
it
about
goes.
Yeah.
Give you some highlights.
Highlights.
That's 2 for the
If I didn't
Niners.
fall asleep during that game, it was in prime time.
And that is it for our Week 1 matchups.
And I hope you do better next week because you really made some bad.
And we'll see.
choices.
By late Monday night, we will know how these picks went. Can almost guarantee mine
I'll take my
are a little
victory lap on
better.
the next episode.
And you can catch this same show every week, likely on Wednesday, sometimes Thursday morning. We'll figure it out.
Prior to the new week.
And throughout the week, you'll be able to find little opinion pieces. Those ought to be entertaining. When we have an opinion, it can...
You give me a platform, I'm going to give you my opinion because I have a shitload of them I'd like to get off my
better
chest.
believe it.
To anybody who wants to listen. And I love a good debate. You
That's
know,
right.
I love a good
Please
debate. You
debate
want
away.
to talk about Deflategate. You want to talk about Roger Goodell. You want to talk about the 4-letter network. You want to talk about the Sports Illustrated nonsense. You want to talk about the rumors of Brady's marriage falling apart. I'll take it all on. I'm well read on all of it. So
Even if you want to just discuss whether or not we're a bunch of idiots, whether we don't know anything here, please feel free to comment. I implore you to like and subscribe because, like I said, throughout the weeks we will be having some pretty entertaining videos.
it'll get a little crazier because this is the first episode.
Very
if I'm
first.
invited back anyway.
You never know. We'll see the polling numbers for you. Like we'll see what people think. They're obviously gonna love me. We know that much. But anyways,
Must
it's
be the
been
beard.
the beard.
It's gotta be the beard.
It's the knot, and it's the striking good looks,
The
and the
samurai
peak-
Winterfell combo.
the peak physical condition,
Got that
all
going
that
for you.
stuff.
Yeah.
So we invite you to please comment anything you want. We're gonna try to be as active as we can in the comments and just have fun football discussions with you guys.
Hey, it's football.
All year long.
Doesn't get any better than this.
Football,
I mean,
is
football
back. I am so pumped.
It's like
gonna
Jesus,
be awesome.
Thank God. Thank God. Well, thanks for having me. I had a good time.
It was a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing the results. Like and subscribe, and we will see you later.